Good evening. My name is José Antonio Casas Calderón. My classmate is Arturo Daniel Sanchez Pacheco. I will explain about our project that is about the CCT library and how it works. So here I have my project. It is already open. We have library system and we have six class. So library system, validation data, book, borrowing, student, and waiting list. And here we can see the main method, and then we have validation data, that is strings, word numbers, the class book that we just load the data and we save, and then we can as well write to a text file. The borrowing is the same. So here we are loading the data and we are writing for a student. We don't need that because we just need to read it. And waiting list is the same because we need to save and as well we need to update. So we go to library system and we can see all of method like search book, list book, search student, list student, borrow book, waiting list, return book, a book borrowed to a student. So here we have created a method, so they ask, and finally when we for example when we have the option 9, we press this directly, this update the file and write, so we can run it. So here in the option 1 we can press and say look for a title or name. So we can just look for a name. So this says please enter a name or title of the book. So we can write Magdaya, and they show us the details. Details book, the ID of the book, the name, surname, and the state that is available. So then we can press the option 2, for example, and say list book for title, list book for name, or list book for title and name. So we just can do for list book for title, so or list book for name. So 2 and say, so this is done and we write, but we should write with an end to have a space and put down each of them. So then we can just press the option 4, for example, that say list all the student by alphabetical name. So we can put just 4 and say list student for name, and we have all student just for name. So you can see. So then we can go, so option 5, that is register that a student has borrowed a book. So we go and the program asks for a student name, and we can put just Mara, and then they say enter the author name or the title of the book, so we can put Magdaya. So here say the details that is, and they show the details book and that is available. So this is possible borrow to the student. So then we have add that reader to a waiting list, but now we don't need. But in the case, for example, is if we want to borrow the same book, so we can put, for example, option 5. So say please enter a student name, so we just write Dulce, and then say please enter author name, so we can put Magdaya. So what he say? Details book, no, so we have surrogate gunless action, but the state is borrowed, so it's not possible to borrow the book to Dulce. So what we need to do is register data student in a waiting list, and we just press the option 6. So please enter a student name. We put the Dulce, and then say please enter the title, so is in this case Magdaya. So they show us that details and Magdaya and is borrowed, so this was saved in the waiting list. Then we have the option 7, for example, 9, but I will show you later. So now we can press just exit 9, and just we can go here and look for library system, mock data, path. So here we can look for Magdaya. Like we can see, this is borrowed, so it's this the list is update, and it's impossible to borrow to other person. And then just we can close, and we can go to borrow book. We can see that it's active 2 books that was borrowed, and this is the ID borrow, the student ID. This is the ID book, the day that we borrowed the book, the day that was returned, and the state that is active. So is this not returned state? So we just minimize, and then we have the waiting list. So we can see that there are 2 people waiting for the book. So now we can just close, and then we can run again. So we can go and register the student has returned a book. So option 7, enter a student ID. So this in this case is Mara, so it's number 2. Please enter the ID book. So we can go to the file, borrow book, and look for it, and active, and we just can copy, Control C, and Control V. So when we just press, say that nobody is waiting for the book, so we just can borrow the book, and we have the option 8 that we can look for a student that borrowed some books. So we can go 8 and enter a name. So here we can see that there are 2 people who returned the book, that person who borrowed the books, and the details when and this was returned or not. And finally we can press 9, that is exit, and save all the data. So that's all, and thanks so much. I hope you could understand.